Whether you're making a simple or an intricate paper cut, the cutting process can take from a couple of hours to several days or even weeks. For beginners that have no idea where to start, it's best to use templates. The first example are these 4 easy-to-cut negative paper cuts. You have seen many other examples of positive paper cuts in the previous 2 videos, so hopefully you can tell the difference. What you need to remove here are closed areas not connected to each other. You're making small cuts, straight or curved, which will turn into shape at the end. The only difference between these two types are the lines that are not connected in order to make a shape in a negative paper cut, while all the lines must be connected to create a positive one. Therefore, some prefer to make negative cuts as they look like you've carved into the material, while positive cuts are more like drawings or paintings. No matter which type you want to try, the rules are always the same. Always start cutting from the middle of the template and work your way around to the outer edges. Cutting a few bits on one side and then jumping to the opposite side is not recommended because you'll increase the chance of tearing your paper, and that means you'll have to start over. If you have a bit more complicated shape, separate it into segments. For example, the butterfly's abdomen and the head make one shape you need to cut out, but you can first cut the circle, which is the head, discard the paper cutout, and go back to make a curved cut on the left and on the right. Breaking areas into segments is useful when cutting more complicated shapes. When cutting circles, hold your blade steady and turn the paper around. If the circle is very small, you can use a needle instead. When you finish cutting the center, move to the wings. Again, it's best to start close to the middle of the template and cut to the edge. You can do it the other way around, but it will be harder because the paper will be very flimsy, especially if you're working on a positive cut. Negative ones are a bit more forgiving, so you can see that I could cut from the end of the wing to the middle without any problems. Practice cutting on 80 GSM paper first, which is normal printer paper. Once you learn from experience, you can take more intricate templates and a thicker paper. Remember to switch to a new blade when you feel it starting to drag the paper. Also, remove the cutouts immediately because if they stay under the paper cut, you can accidentally break your blade when going over them and also ruin your paper cut. This is a Magical Forest Fairy template. You can see I started in the middle and now I need to cut around the tree branches and leaves. This is when breaking into segments is very useful. I'm also using the number 11 blade. If you have the 15A blade, it's even better for smaller parts. The template is just a guide, and you don't need to follow it blindly. Feel free to cut more or less than it shows. Skip all the parts you think you can't cut without tearing it. The moon on this template had many small details on it, but I only cut some and also added a few curves that weren't there. It's perfectly right because when you flip the paper over to reveal the finished paper cut, no one will ever see. That's why it's important to flip the template before printing, and that way you will also flip the paper once you finish and no one will see the printering or what parts you missed or parts you added. It will all be on the back of the paper cut. I finished cutting another copy of this template before making the video so that I could show you how it looks like finished. This is an Asia print of the paper cut, and I added a backing paper to make the paper cut stand out. If you want to learn how to make a print or an AC of your paper cut, I will post a video about it soon and put the link in the description. Finally, something incredibly stressful is finishing the paper cut. The paper cut is very flimsy right now, and when you hold it, it feels like lace. When cutting the border that will separate your paper cut from the scrap excess paper, rest your hand on the paper cut and slowly move the blade, turning the paper. Gently lift up the paper, and if it's stuck somewhere, make sure to pass with the blade over it a couple of times until you can lift the paper without any problems. If you try to rip it, it will rip the paper cut too. All that's left to do is to flip the paper cut and mount or frame it. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will leave all the links to the paper cutting time-lapse in the description. Those videos are also full of cutting tips. If this video series helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, feel free to comment and share. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.